Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. I am your host, Tony. I am joined today by my co-host, Mr. Awesome, and our very special guest. With that, welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. Of course, Tony, joined today by... I'll go ahead and introduce yourselves one at a time. Whoever wants to take first.
The leader of the pound, the one and only Z-Dog.
And then yours truly, the World Wrestling Federation champion, the great one, Eddie Jankowski.
The great one. Nice. Little plug on certain people's chant. So, gentlemen, welcome back. Of course, today we've got a late show here. As we know, tonight is going to be a late one, period. With the start time of 4 a.m. for the pre-show, 5 a.m. for the main show for Elimination here in Eastern time zone, anyway. We'll probably get into a little bit of what happened at that press event yesterday as well. It was quite the interesting press event. I don't know if you guys managed to catch any of it or not, but an hour long, little over hour long, the press show was yesterday. Randy Orton, one thing that stuck out to me, kind of threw a little dig at Rock and John Cena during his part of the show. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. Mentioning how he'd much rather be there in WWE in front of the fans instead of sitting on a Hollywood set for 12 hours a day and not getting any gratification or anything from people until months down the line. Like, well, Randy's throwing shade.
Yeah, I actually watched it yesterday, and I was like, ooh, could we see maybe Randy Orton versus The Rock?
Maybe. I don't... Is that a match that's ever actually happened? And if it did, obviously Rock was active when Randy was just starting. Pretty much.
The only time them two have met, I remember it. When I was there at the Garden. It was the Rock and Sonic Connection going up against Evolution.
WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, WrestleMania 20. I was there, and I think that's the last time that they both hooked up.
It is interesting. Maybe that is something that we could see down. Who knows? Depends on how long The Rock's going to stick around and how many matches he'll have.
Well, he is a boy.
Although I did see
he can do whatever he wants.
The Rock will be on SmackDown next Friday, so that is true. But on that take, of course, Seth Rollins played to the crowd a couple different times as well, including saying that it's kind of his MO not to show up, talking about Roman Reigns, who wasn't at the press event and won't be there in Perth, Australia either. So digs are being thrown at people left and right, it seemed like, during that press event. Of course, she also got a drink thrown in her face, too, by Rhea Ripley to Nia Jax to kind of give her a little preview of her riptide, as she put it, at the end of the press event. But surprisingly, things only got physical between two people, really, during that whole show. That was Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, where Triple H and Randy Orton had to pull them apart. And Triple H almost got taken out by KO. You singing. Perhaps Paul should be a little more different. Oh.
I know. Like, come on, Paul. You're a former world champion. You look like you're gonna get knocked down like a senior.
I know, right? I will say it was an interesting press event, but it definitely seemed just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That's for sure. But out of that, we did get this announcement that will start things off here for our Elimination Chamber kickoff show. Be a women's tag team championship match. As you've got the champions, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, with WWE Women's Champion Io Sky in their corner, going up against Candice LeRae and, of course, Australia's own Indy Hartwell. Hence the reason this match is made, since Indy's from Australia. What do you guys got for this tag team match for the women's titles?
I think we all know who's going to win the match, because either Indy Hartwell is going to get extracted by a koala, or what. But yeah, I got, I got, and I know you guys agree with me. There is no way in hell that the Kabuki Warriors are going to lose the belts to Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. I mean, I understand it's in Indy Hartwell's hometown, but for some reason, I think that the tag team titles for the women are being planned by one person that's in the chamber and one that made her debut at the Royal Rumble. So yeah, I'm going with the Kabuki Warriors.
I'm gonna agree with that.
Nice.
Kabuki Warriors are not gonna drop it. If they do, it's not gonna be Tomania. So Kabuki to retain.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on who's winning this match, the Kabuki Warriors. Whether or not they hold the titles till Mania, we'll see. Interesting fact coming out of SmackDown, though. Next week on SmackDown, the Kabuki Warriors will be in tag team action, going up against Bayley and Dakota Kai. Of course, they can't announce that as a title match since this match is happening, but
yeah, let's
feeling Dakota might actually show her true colors, and then we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a heel turn. Well, she already is a heel, but I see her betraying Bayley, and the Kabuki Damage 2.0 is intact.
Yeah. What I'm figuring is going to happen. But we'll see. So, John, you and I, when we did the Royal Rumble prediction, added a little bit to our predictions for the Royal Rumble matches. I'm thinking we can add a little extra zest, if you will, to a couple matches here for the Elimination Chamber as well.
That sounds lovely.
So, with that in mind, our first match, doesn't it though? Our first match that we're going to discuss when I get it to pop up here, because it's reloading, will be one of the Elimination Chamber matches. For the extra points, if you will, though, I want you guys to tell me who you think's going to start the women's and then the men's chamber matches at number 1 and number 2. And I might go with a couple other things as well for that. But we'll start with that. Get into that in just here. Just get your thinking caps on for that. Of course, there's only 6 women to have to deal with in here, and there's no surprises in men. And then there's other things that we can't go through that we did for the Rumble, but still a couple things you can go with for that. So we're going to make this a little more interesting. Starting to load. So got it fully here. I'll get it up here. There we go.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So with that said, up first, the women's elimination chamber match to determine the number 1 contender for the WWE Women's World Championship. Don't want the predictions yet from you guys. First, I want to know who you think is going to enter number 1 and number 2. Who's going to start off the women's chamber?
Okay. My number 1 and number 2, you got to go with the top dogs, which is Becky and Bianca. I feel like them 2 are going to start it off.
Ooh, I like it.
Do you want to know who I think?
Okay, John, who's kicking it off?
I think it's going to be Becky Lynch and the annoying Tiffany Stratton.
We'll get into that, Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I'm actually going with the annoying Tiffany Stratton as well, but Bianca Belair for the other person to enter first.
Yeah.
Now, what was your question about next, Eddie?
I was thinking, do you want to know who I think might be the last person out of the pods?
Sure.
Okay, my last person, and I know.
Who do you think will be last to enter?
And I know I'm gonna make John little like, yeah, baby, you know how I like it. I got his girl Liv Morgan being the last one out of her pod.
Nice. John, who do you think's coming into the match last?
My girl Liv.
I'm gonna go with Liv. Well, I'm gonna go against both of you. I think that the last one to enter will probably be both Raquel. That's what I'm gonna say. Let all 5 of the other women go at it, and then have Raquel come in last and be the powerhouse that she is, and start to dominate the match for a couple minutes. Now, the other question is, who do you think's getting the most eliminations?
Wow.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to throw a wild card out there. I think
So I'll give you mine first. Gotcha.
I think there's going to be multiple people getting eliminations, so I think it's going to be whoever gets 2 eliminations is going to get the most. And I'm going Tiffany Stratton. I think she's going to eliminate Bianca and Naomi.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting. You got a pick yet, Eddie, or you want me to go next?
Do you go next? I'm trying to figure that one out.
So, yeah, I kind of agree with John there. I think that it'll probably be one person will get 2 eliminations, and then you'll have a couple other single eliminations. I'm going with Becky Lynch. Getting the most eliminations.
Okay, my double, I feel like with her performance on Monday, I feel like mine will be Raquel Rodriguez.
That's a good pick. All right. So then that brings us to, who do you guys think's winning the Women's Elimination Chamber to go on to face either Nia Jax or Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania?
You see, I have a dilemma here because there's 2 stories that make sense.
Of course you
Mommy
do.
versus the Man makes sense, and so does the Live Revenge story. And I feel like all this talk about Mommy and the Men is a smokescreen, and we could be surprised with Liv winning, but I have to go with what makes the most sense. I'm going Becky to win.
You know, John, and I'm going to say this to you guys. You know that I always like a threesome in professional wrestling. The Liv Morgan Revenge Tour sounds wonderful, but who doesn't want to make a profit off of Mommy versus the Man at WrestleMania? So my pick is going to be the Man, Becky Lynch.
That's going to make us 3 for 3 because I also got Mommy versus the Man at WrestleMania. So, like you said, who wouldn't want that box office draw at WrestleMania? Why would you play it up as much as they have leading up to this match to just push it off until SummerSlam or whenever? It just feels like this is the time and place to do it. Becky's going on into her first Elimination Chamber match. She's going to win her first Elimination Chamber match. She's going to go on to face Rhea Ripley, more than likely, at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship. All right. So, all right. Next on the docket, for anybody who's in the comment section, I see there's 2 people watching. If you want to leave your picks, go ahead and leave your picks as well. Up next, we got the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship match. As you got Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate going up against the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and Senior Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. I know they got a new name for Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
What is it? The Czech? What is it? The Czech Republic or something? The Strong Republicans or whatever the hell the name is.
Not quite that, but something similar. Yeah. Something like that. I still say they're just British strong style. I like that name better.
I gotta go with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, me too.
No offense to British Strong Style. These guys are workhorses through and through with their matches that they had for the UK title. But you got to go with the Judgment Day because we're going to get that mega match at WrestleMania that's going to blow everybody's mind. So I'm going with the Judgment Day.
I am also going with the Judgment Day because they're not dropping those titles until they take on the Austin Truth at Mania.
Well, that makes it another 3 for 3. I will say this much about Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. They have been on an undefeated streak ever since Tyler Bate showed up on SmackDown as Pete Dunne's tag team partner. They haven't lost a single match since they became a tag team. But like you guys said, it just feels like with the way the storyline's been going for Judgment, I don't know if you guys seen or not. R-Truth posted that instead of Australia, he arrived in Austria today for the Elimination Chamber.
Jesus Christ.
Because that's an R-Truth thing to do.
Oh, God.
I know, right? We'll see if he ends up in Australia tomorrow or not. The whole R-Truth storyline, I just feel like Miz and R-Truth being back together, they'll probably win the tag titles from Judgment Day at some point. More than likely, Mania. But I don't think this will hurt Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate in the long run. If they do what has been talked about and eventually split up the tag team titles, because there was talks, last I seen, they were thinking of doing it before WrestleMania. It would be one of the top teams, one of the top 2 or 3 teams on SmackDown to potentially become tag team champions if they ever split up the tag titles. But that's my opinion. Hey, we got a comment.
Yeah, it's well overdue.
Hope says Becky Lynch is going to the first match. Tag team titles on both shows.
Yeah, it's well overdue.
Yeah, well, it happens. Yeah, that's for sure. Ever since they made new titles for the women's championships and the world championships, I felt like they've needed to split up the tag team titles and just get rid of the Raw and SmackDown looking titles. But why they haven't yet, who knows? We just need to do it. Next on the agenda, hosting the biggest ever Grayson Waller effect, featuring the American Nightmare, the 2023 and 2024 Royal Rumble winner, Cody Rhodes, and of course, the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Rumor has it, this won't just be a talk show segment, though. So the question is, what exactly did Roman have to say to Grayson Waller that will get parlayed into this Grayson Waller effect? But more importantly, what do we think is going to happen coming out of the Grayson Waller effect?
I don't know about what's going to happen during, but I know it's going to lead to the tag match at Mania.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like this is the setup for night 1 of WrestleMania with the tag, with the Bloodline versus Seth and Cody. I feel night 1 or 2, whatever they put it, but yeah, I feel like this is the setup for the for the WrestleMania match.
But I have a feeling this won't, and I said, won't be just a segment. Because Grayson Waller's not there in Australia by himself. And we all know Grayson Waller's got a big mouth. So I wouldn't be surprised to see an impromptu tag team match come out of this.
Right. I mean, that's a good theory.
Because Austin Theory is there in Australia. Pun intended. So based off of the rumor of that match potentially happening at Elimination Chamber, I just want to get predictions just in case. I mean, I won't count it obviously if the match doesn't happen, but I think we all know who would win if it does happen, though.
Oh yeah,
Clearly, Grayson and Austin would definitely win. Clearly.
Yes, because Grayson has to do the shoey.
Right.
We all know it's
gotta get that shoey in again.
Yeah.
We all
I mean, from what I've heard, Seth probably is good to go. Should be good to go in the ring, so I wouldn't be surprised by it. But also, if that's the case, could we see something else potentially happen to Seth Rollins at Elimination Chamber as well?
That would be nice.
I mean, Senior Money in the Bank is there, but personally, I don't think that's going to happen because of knowing what's going to happen with the Elimination Chamber match. But just saying, it's an option. It could happen.
I don't see it happen with Senior Money in the Bank. I feel like the way that they're going with Damian Priest, I feel like they're trying to duplicate, because it's been good. It's been good storytelling for a while. I feel like maybe we'll have a impromptu run-in like we had at when Seth won the title from Roman and that other guy.
He who shall not be.
Oh, you mean Sable's bitch?
Funny thing is that other guy apparently is still going to be part of... Yeah. Still going to be part of 2K24, but just as a non-playable character.
Good, they got more other people there.
Grayson Waller has a big mouth. But anyway, whoops. Didn't want to remove that, but that works too. All right. Next up. Look at that. Of course, there's only 4 matches currently on the main show, so not too surprising that the next match we talk about is the men's Elimination Chamber match. Who you guys got entering as the first 2 participants in the men's Elimination Chamber?
Oh my God, look at the picture of LA Knight. Holy shit. Oh.
All right. I think this one's going to be kind of obvious. Clearly, it's going to be KO and Logan Paul 1 and 2.
Yeah, I agree with I agree with John. You know, it's good. I agree with my homie, man. It is going to be Logan Paul and KO and starting it off to play off the press conference.
So I'm gonna agree with you guys halfway. I got Logan Paul, but I'm going on LA Knight starting the match.
Yeah.
As they start towards their match at yeah. All right. Then who do you guys got being last entrant?
Well, clearly, it's going to be the megastar. Let me talk to you. L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, John. It's going to be LA Knight. Yeah, LA Knight.
What are you thinking, Eddie?
I think John, it's going to be LA.
Yeah. Huh. You know, I honestly, I'm gonna go with the Viper actually entering last. Knowing that Randy's had all the issues that he's had, that just they wouldn't want him in there any longer really than he has to be. So I think Randy will come in last and just all his moves in and all that stuff before he eventually gets eliminated. Who's getting the most eliminations?
Drew.
Yeah, I got Drew.
No, that makes all three of us. All right, that leads us to the last question. Who's winning the men's elimination chamber and going on to face Seth freaking Rollins potentially for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania?
The dude with the best shirt, of course. Drew McIntyre. And his CM Punk Rest in Peace shirt.
Deuces. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. This one I really took time on to analyze all everybody that's in the chamber. I think my final two is going to be Orton and Drew McIntyre.
That was another question I could ask.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going with the Scottish Warrior, pulling it out and going to WrestleMania to face Seth.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to come down to Randy and Drew. I could see him going Randy potentially, but I just feel like momentum that he has, the way things have been going, even though we've seen Drew versus Seth a few times recently, this is a much different version of Drew McIntyre than what we've seen him facing Seth freaking Rollins a couple times early this year. So this Scottish psychopath is going to walk out of Elimination Chamber the number one contender. Not to spoil anything, but I have a feeling he'll also walk out of WrestleMania with his handheld hat. But that's there.
Because if you look at the entire men that are in this chamber, the last three at the end are going to go for the United States title. You know, it's going to be LA Knight, Paul, and Owens at Mania. Maybe add some guy from Monday Night Raw that has been trying to get to Mania to make it a fatal four-way. And then you got Bobby Lashley and his crew going up against the Last Testament or whatever the hell their names are. And then me, I see Randy Orton. Yeah. For me, I see Randy Orton having a program with Solo.
Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens for the first time ever on a premium live event as well at WrestleMania. So we'll see. See what happens. It's time for some mommy. I think I already know who everybody's picking to win this match. But for shits and giggles, let's talk about it, shall we? I will mention, I did find out something I didn't know about Nia Jax, though, during that press event yesterday. I never knew she was born in Australia.
Yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, wait, you were born in Australia?
Right?
Yeah, I don't blame Australia for not wanting to admit that.
So I do want to mention. Exactly. Between Drew and the Viper. Yep. Where was I going with that? But yeah, Nia definitely in this program leading up to this match has gotten a better Rhea around every corner other than this past Monday night on Raw. So Rhea's been squashed a few times. I was going to mention, if this match indeed does main event Elimination Chamber, like it's rumored to take place, it'll be the first time since WrestleMania last year that a women's match has main evented a WrestleMania. Or 2 years ago, I mean. Wow. When Bianca and I don't have that notebook right handy. But Bianca was in one of the last women's main event matches, and they haven't main evented in quite a while anyways. So
was it Sasha Banks?
I don't see why they wouldn't have these two women be in the main event when they're both from Australia. I think there was one since then, but maybe it was that match. Maybe that was what I seen. I'd have to look it up again for sure, but I know it's been a while anyway since the women have invented a pretty much. Which will be great to have these two main event because last year we know it didn't happen because KO and Sami went against the Usos in main event night 1. So yeah, it must have been Sasha and Bianca 2 years ago at 38. I'm pretty sure I seen it. It was WrestleMania. That was the last time that women main evented. Go.
Okay, so it wasn't last year.
Eddie's looking it up, I have a feeling.
Yeah, it wasn't last year.
No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Let me check. No, I think it was in Tampa.
Yeah, it would have been 2021. Because that's when Belair won the Rumble and then took on Sasha.
Yeah, that's right, because Stone Cold and KO.
Yeah. It was Bianca and Sasha.
You're right. So it would have been WrestleMania 37.
Yeah, WrestleMania 37 was the last one.
Wow, has it really been that long?
Yep, WrestleMania 37.
Yeah. Almost 3 years since the women have main evented a WrestleMania, or main evented a premium live event, I mean. And if that's the case. That's surprising. With the women that we've had. Man. It seems like they would have main evented something since then. But
yeah, because
anyway,
Rena
Fact of
and
the matter is, you
Charlotte.
got two Australians technically.
Yeah, because Rena and Charlotte, they didn't main event last year.
No, they didn't. They went to KO and Sammy and the Usos, which it should have.
Yeah.
So, since we're on the topic of the match, though, do you think Rhea Ripley actually hits the Riptide, or do we just a regular Riptide, or do you think it's going to be off the second rope, or is she going to use something else to get the victory over Nia Jax? Since we're all three.
Let me tell you how this is going to go.
Retain her women's
I'll tell you how this is going to go. So what's going to happen is Nia's going to be going for a superplex, and Rhea's going to reverse it, and it's going to be a Riptide off the top fucking rope to end it.
That'd be impressive.
I mean, yeah, I would love that. I think she would do a top rope move or off the second rope Riptide, because trying to pick up Nia Jax is like picking up Yokozuna. She's a I know she lost a lot of a lot of weight, and hey, Nia looks beautiful, man. She lost a lot of her weight, but yeah, I see a Riptide from the second rope.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be an avalanche Riptide of some sort. Whether it be the top rope or second rope, because just a regular Riptide, I almost think is not going to be good enough for Rhea to hit to win here in her home country, hometown of Australia. Anyway, they need something bigger. So clean sweep for the Judgment Day. Anyways, we figure tomorrow for the Elimination Chamber. Tag team titles retained. The Women's World Championship retained. Again, possibility of a cash-in. Don't know. It's just always there when you got a champion on the card. Not senior Money in the Bank on the card. But I don't think they do that, because then that would kind of upstage Rhea Ripley's moment, I feel like. So I don't think they'd do something like that. So back to the other thing. Do you think there's going to be any other surprises in store? There was a certain former tag team that was pictured in the vicinity of where Elimination Chamber is taking place. Whether or not they'll pop up on the show, we'll see. But a tag team from Australia. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Women's tag team. Let's put it that way. Former women's tag team champions. John's thinking. I see that. They wouldn't be showing up for actual in-ring action, because I know one of them's pregnant again.
Former women's tag team from Australia.
Yep, former women's tag.
Oh.
Well, at least one of them's from Australia.
Iconic.
The Iconics?
Yes, the Iconics. Yep.
Okay.
They had a picture posted on social media of them there in the arena today. They could just be there to visit. Who knows? But
we know Undertaker's going to be there.
He could also potentially become part of the show too. Who? Hard to tell.
Hey, I thought you meant the Bushwhackers.
Was doing his one dead man show. Well, Bushwhacker Luke might be there, but
yeah, Luke, yeah, one of them.
I'm still pissed they didn't put Bronson Reed in the
You
chamber.
think there'll be any other surprises in store at the Elimination Chamber? Huh?
I'm still mad that they didn't put Bronson Reed in the chamber.
Yeah, so I had originally heard that his wife was due anytime now, was why he didn't go back to Australia. But then I seen he posted on X yesterday that yes, his wife is expecting soon, but that wasn't the reason that he wasn't going home to Australia. To which he didn't elaborate any further. So I don't know why exactly he didn't go.
Well, I know this is good. I know this could be a joke, but I would love to see Kyle Fletcher appear on WWE, but he has visa trouble, so he can't get into the States.
And Gunther can't get out the States.
No.
Right. Gunther can't leave the U.S. anytime soon. That's why they need him to drop that IC title sooner rather than later, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even though if you ask
not
Triple H, he'd tell you that every title needs to be on every show. But still.
Not to throw puns, but when Gunther loses that title, it's going to be quite insane.
Can't tell who you're thinking is taking the IC title away from him.
We're all thinking it in some way, shape,
When do you think that's going to be, though? I've heard rumors
Mania.
Sammy and Shinsuke. Huh?
I think it's going to be at Mania. I think that's going to end up being.
We'll see.
I think there'll be Gunther versus Sammy at Mania. Sammy wins the title and then gets attacked by Shinsuke. And then it'll be Sammy and Shinsuke at the next pay-per-view.
We'll see. We still got just over a month.
See, I like your assuming that Sammy's going to go after the title. But man, I had Sammy going over to SmackDown and getting into a fatal four-way for the United States title.
No.
That would be interesting. I mean, there was. It'd be one way to switch the two mid-card titles, brains-wise, potentially. I mean, there was talks of doing Braun Breaker versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania at one point, so. But we'll see. We got a little over a month until WrestleMania still, so. A lot of things can happen between now and then. Elimination Chamber is just a little bump in the road, if you will.
Did you guys
fun show?
Did you guys hear this rumor?
I always enjoy the Elimination Chamber matches.
Did you guys hear this rumor that I heard it today that WWE is trying to get Stallone to come to WrestleMania in Philadelphia to make it like a story with, Cody, finishing the story about it, that they want to put Cody and Stallone together, that Stallone is in Cody's corner and The Rock is in Roman's corner at WrestleMania.
So I heard the first part of that they're talking to Sylvester Stallone and want to get him involved in WrestleMania since it's in Philly. But I hadn't heard the whole having him in Cody's corner part.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer, which is like
That'd be interesting.
Talking the glue, was saying that they want him to be involved in the finishing the story. Like, okay, so what is Stallone going to do? He should they want to make it into like, you know, Cody wins the belt and then Brandy comes down and, you know, Cody does his speech. Instead of saying Adrian, he says Brandy.
Right? Oh, Brandy, I did it.
Man, it would have been funny if you had Apollo and Paulie there going like, yeah, you did it. Get the hell out of Philadelphia.
Can you believe that we're getting this close to WrestleMania and they still haven't announced a single person for the Hall of Fame?
I won't put it past them.
It used to be that they'd announce the first person around the world.
So who do you guys think is going in this year?
Paul.
I got
better
going
be
in Philly.
Better be Demolition getting that tag team spot.
I got a couple of people that I think. Can we give like our favorite four?
Sure.
Okay. Sure, go for it.
So my favorite four, for God's sakes, you got to go with Demolition as the tag team. Celebrity Wing.
Here comes the end. Here comes the Smasher.
Celebrity Wing, and you can tell me if I'm dead wrong. Cyndi Lauper has to go in because she was a part of the first WrestleMania. I mean, she's the one that made it happen. You know, the Rock and Wrestling connection. The woman's, you got to go with Elizabeth. I really want to see Elizabeth in there. And then manager Paul Heyman. The headliner, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I'd agree. They got to have Bray Wyatt go in.
What do you
guys?
Are
they going to have him go in this early?
They did with Eddie.
I think so, yes. Yeah. It wouldn't be the first time, so. And Bray Wyatt left that much of an impression on people. I could see them definitely doing it.
But
yeah, I'd agree with you, Eddie. Go ahead, Jen.
So you would do Bray Wyatt and Triple H the same year?
Did you say Triple H?
No. Triple H, no, I wouldn't put him in. You did.
No, definitely Bray, Demolition, Cyndi Lauper, and Miss Elizabeth.
I'd agree with the Miss Elizabeth part. I mean, she is part of the new 2K24 video game, so why not have her inducted in the Hall of Fame too? So,
I mean, who else could it
be must have some sort of
Miss Elizabeth?
Well, I'm sure they could figure out somebody. I mean, for God's sake, Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler are both in the Hall of Fame.
The reason why you guys could critique it. Reason why I want Elizabeth in, because First of all, it's well deserved, and plus, you got the mega powers, and you got Randy in there. She was part of Randy's MO when he first came into the WWF. I mean, you have to have Randy and Liz in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
I'd agree. But John, you were saying something about Triple H. You think
his time? I mean, going solo, he's got to be coming up.
I guess I could see it somewhat, but I don't think he'd want to go in quite yet. I don't know. We'll see. But I feel like right now is the right time.
Okay.
But if not, if they don't have Bray Wyatt go in, I would say, even if they do, the other superstar I would say that they could have go in is somebody who was supposed to go in a couple years ago, back in 2020.
Ooh, Bautista?
That being, of course, the Animal, Batista. Yes, the Animal.
Which version of the Animal are we getting? Regular Batista?
Yeah, I can see
Bautista or Bluetista?
Or you can't forget his
Batista.
or you can't forget about his OVW character.
Leviathan. Well, if you want to go that route, you can't forget about Deacon Batista either.
Oh God, no! Oh no! I bet he wants to forget. I bet he wants to forget that.
I bet he does too. I mean, the guy gets called up to the main roster just to be Don's butler, pretty much. Oh, bodyguard that didn't do nothing but hold his briefcase. Oh, sorry, Reverend Devon. Devon.
Okay, what do you guys think about the case about Cyndi Lauper? Cyndi Lauper, you think she deserves to go in to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I think she should be in there.
Yeah, she should be in there.
Well, we all hands down. I agree with you, John. I mean, Demolition needs to go in there.
Yes, they do.
Hell, Hulk Hogan.
I mean, you got the Bushwhackers already.
Hogan, with his wisdom of jackassness, he wanted the fabulous Russo brothers.
You mean the brothers where one became the mountain?
The Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Yes. Jacques Rougeau and Raymond Rougeau. We're going to put tag teams in the Hall of Fame besides Demolition be the Rockers. Before it would be the Rougeau brothers. Oh.
You know who? Speaking, like you just said, the Rockers. That'll be a great thing to see Marty Jannetty Jannetty get finally acknowledge.
Right? It would be.
The other team,
but I know he's
the other team
had his
the other
issues
team I
over the
would
years
like,
too. So, but
Did the head shrinkers ever go in?
The who?
The head shrinkers?
Yeah, no, but the Wild Samoans went, right?
the Wild Samoans are. The head shrinkers, I don't believe are.
At least Rikishi went in by himself.
I have two teams I wish that are in there right now. Strike Force and the Killer Bees.
Really? I could see the Strike Force, but Killer Bees,
I would like Rick Martel to be in the damn Hall of Fame. I'm surprised he's not there.
Yes. Rick Martel, I believe I would agree with you. He does deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he set the very
not
first record
necessarily
in the
just
Rumble.
for the battle. Did he?
Yeah, for a while
shortest
he had the
time?
longest time in the Rumble.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, Rick Martel, you can't just look at what he did in WWE, but he won world championships in like NWA and some other promotions. So definitely I would agree he was a great wrestler who definitely earns a spot and should be in the Hall of Fame.
Are the natural disasters in?
No.
WWE needs to get their shit together.
I was going to double check on a couple of those for you.
What about Haku? Haku's not. Is he in the Hall?
I'm not sure if he is or not. Come here. No. Go away. Hall of Fame. Andre Abdullah. Antonio Roca. Noki. So many people that are. And you look and you see like a Drew Carey who's in the Hall of Fame and Donald Trump.
Yay.
Mind blowing.
I'm gonna feel really stupid.
No, Haku is not in there as what?
So I know this one I'm about to ask is a sore subject. Are the Von Erichs in?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yes, the Von Erichs.
You're gonna think I'm crazy. What about Chavo?
Chavo?
Ooh, Chavo.
No offense, but nah. Pass.
What about Val Venus?
That would be fun.
Pass again.
Can we all admit one thing though? When R-Truth is up on the ballot for Hall of Fame, you know his ass is going straight in.
Here's a name I think should be in it. What about Luger?
Right? The total package.
Yeah.
But before he was the total package, he was the
way
narcissist.
overdue, in my opinion. Yes.
The narcissist. If them motherfuckers put in the gobbledygooker.
What about Mo and Mabel?
Well,
Man, mention
Mo, a couple of years ago, was saying, why is Mabel not in the Hall of Fame? The reason why I think Mabel maybe not be in it is because he hurt a lot of wrestlers back in the 90s.
But I do feel like if Mabel was to
Possibility.
go in, it probably would have been under Viscera.
Yeah. Or Big Daddy Tit.
Big Daddy T.
Yeah. There was some. I wish one will go in. I wish one will go in, but we know he's never going to go in. I wish Owen goes in. But that is a sensitive. That's a sensitive. And
there's another one that should go
Martha
in.
will never allow.
Based on his wrestling in-ring ability, he should definitely be in. But because of his pussy cowardness outside the ring, he won't go in.
Benoit.
And that is the Wolverine. In-ring talent, he should definitely be 100%.
Right.
I don't know. I totally get. I feel like his wife should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But unfortunately, with what happened, I don't feel like they'll ever induct either one of the two of them.
There's one person I think should be in there, and you can tell me if I'm dead wrong. What about Brian Pillman?
Yes.
I mean, his son is now Jack Sparrow in NXT.
Paul Burchill 2.0.
Yeah.
And there's another name from the
and
past.
Honestly, when you think of Brian Pillman, I think of Stone Cold too. So
that's true.
Oh, that wonderful breaking in house scene.
Speaking of that,
well, yeah, that too. That's along the Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pillman and Stone Cold. Pillman and Austin.
Back when he was Stunning Steve Austin?
Yeah. What about the guy that held? What about the guy that held his title twice in 96, 97? Sid.
Is Sid not in?
Yeah.
No.
No, Sid's not in. Fame. I don't know why, but he's never been in the Hall of Fame yet.
That's stupid.
I mean, look at his career. I mean, 2-time World Wrestling Federation champion. How many times did he hold the United States title?
Yeah,
I thought he held the Intercontinental.
I know he held the world title, WCW World Heavyweight title. I know he held that on 2 separate occasions?
Yeah.
Here, I'll tell you in a sec. You would have thought when he showed up for Raw's Homecoming, I think it was back then, that he would have went in sometime around then. But he didn't. So, he was American Wrestling Federation champion, super heavyweight champion once. CWA, Continental Wrestling Association heavyweight champion once. One-time NWA Northeast heavyweight champion. Southeastern USWA. He was WCW World Champion twice, WCW United States Champion once, and the WWF Champion twice.
That's a hell of a resume.
Yeah. So just between WWF and WCW, he's a 4-time world champion. That's not counting NWA and those other companies I mentioned too. So
yeah. Oh,
This is more of a gimmick one, but we should definitely put Kai and Ty in.
yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, shoot! I thought you were gonna say. The
Wow.
Mean Street Posse.
No, we're going with the Blue World Order.
We know
The
somewhere.
BWO.
We know somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, they're in Philly.
Road,
Why not?
we know somewhere down the road we're gonna see Evolution get put in.
Oh yeah.
And then sometime after that,
Yeah, before it's all said and
Legacy will
done,
go
Triple
in.
H had at least 3. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised. Although Legacy was never as big as Evolution, but still. Yes, kickstarted Cody's career.
But what would you see
It's
first,
mentioned
Legacy
Randy's,
or
really.
the Shield?
Ooh.
Mm.
I think would probably go in first.
Yeah, I'll go with Legacy because I feel like they
got to get Ambrose.
Like you said about WrestleMania being in Philly, which it is. What about Tommy Dreamer going into the Hall?
There you go.
Or Taz.
Yeah, you'd think they'd want
Or
some
Sabu.
ECW guys in Philly, but
Okay, here's my wild card, and you can
the
see
only
if
problem
I'm wrong.
is Taz.
AEW, yeah. You know what my wild card is? Goldust.
Yeah. Now, would he want to go in though, Goldust or as Austin?
Well, which one he had
Because
more?
if you look at it, he was Goldust.
Yeah.
There's also a portion of the crowd that just knows him as Dustin Rhodes too. I don't know. All good options, but I would have to imagine they'll start announcing people for the Hall of Fame here shortly. I mean, I know they don't have to sell tickets for the Hall of Fame as much as they used to, since they do it the same night as SmackDown the night before WrestleMania. But still, they need to start announcing people sooner rather than later, in my opinion.
Maybe they're just going to put Bray in.
Maybe at the Elimination Chamber they'll announce the first person. Who knows? R2K.
Oh, I mean,
All
they
right.
could do the celebrity though.
Well,
Chamber, because it could be
yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Good point. Yeah, it was involved in a few episodes of Raw, so.
What about a guy that used to work?
The people he was involved in an ankle with are no longer with.
What about a guy that used to work for them, Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Well, I'm so glad you said that.
Potentially.
You just saved by the bell.
Back some weight, man. Holy shit.
Let's be realistic. Going in the Hall of Fame this year is David Arquette.
Damn it, man! You got me. I was gonna say. I was gonna say Tank Abbott.
Wow.
One time, it's gonna happen at one point.
There's so many people that you could put it. For who?
Arquette.
No, I got the person. Yeah, David Arquette, sure. The world's most dangerous man. Originally. Ken Shamrock. He's involved in 2K24. Why not induct him in the Hall of Fame this year?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, he had some good matches with The Rock. I mean, they were fucking awesome.
Yeah. Multiple time world champion, just never in WWE.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was an MMA fighter too, and with WWE and UFC being owned by the same people now.
Which is like, wow, UFC and WWE are all in one group now. It's amazing how far we come.
I know, right? And to think there's not even a McMahon involved in WWE anymore.
So there's a report.
Who would have thunk it?
There's a report out that this will be the first WrestleMania without Vince McMahon, which is shocking, but I understand the circumstances. But Vince McMahon, this will be the first WrestleMania Vince McMahon will not be at, which is like, it's out there.
Mind blowing. And from what Triple H was saying at the WrestleMania press conference that a couple weeks ago, big things are coming for WWE and a lot of changes by the sounds too, coming WrestleMania and beyond too. So we'll see what all that entails.
Speaking of one show, Monday night, and I feel like it's gonna happen. Who is that UFC fighter that was talking? I forgot what his name was.
Yeah, I just had it in my phone and on there too. Michael, you got me looking now. So now I wrote it down. What's it? Michael Chandler.
What do I feel like at WrestleMania? We're going to see him against Conor McGregor.
Maybe. I mean, Conor McGregor has been rumored to be going to WWE off and on for, I want to say, years now. So
yeah, several years.
They were supposed to. Yeah. So it could happen. Especially if they're wanting to keep up with the promotion. Definitely interesting to see a UFC fighter actually get a chance to talk on a microphone on a WWE program. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't something I ever thought would happen.
No.
Live mic.
And thank God they didn't show him taking off his shirt.
I think they were trying to get him to pan back over to him after he did it.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee was trying to. Kept bringing it back up. What? Because we're pretty much done. You got your fixing. Yes, good. All right. Anyway, should be a fun elimination chamber that starts in 3 hours for the pre-show.
3 hours?
3 hours. 4 hours for the main show from now.
4 hours.
Anything you guys got you want left to say about elimination chamber or anything else on the road to WrestleMania that we're speeding down right now as we close this out?
Just want to do WrestleMania already.
I wish it didn't start at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Same, but
I second that.
we're here.
It's okay, didn't make it.
Hey, just imagine if we lived there and it started that late all the time.
Yeah.
I can deal with it for one day. Well, we're gonna have to deal with it a couple different times, I think, this year, but that's besides the point.
Why?
Because when they're over in Germany, they're time.
Why? Gonna be in Germany.
Because WWE wants to go global and be everywhere, so they can.
For what?
What is it? What is it? Germany, and then they
They're
go
showing
to
Berlin in August.
and then when they go to Paris too, right?
Yeah, Backlash is in Paris, but I think Paris is closer to the same time as us. I think Germany's close to Australia time, if I remember right. I'd have to look it up for sure, but
Yeah, but Germany is still closer to us.
Bash in Berlin in August and Backlash in France.
So they're doing 2 pay-per-views in August?
Germany is still what?
So
yeah, the Bash in Berlin's at the end of August. SummerSlam will probably be the first weekend of August again, like it was last year.
I was about to say the year before that, but and now right?
No, because 2 years ago they did SummerSlam in July.
July 31st.
Something like that.
Where Damage Control invented.
Yep.
And now it burned into pieces.
So I have to deal with a couple more shows from abroad anyway. Because that's what they like to do.
You like to drive me crazy.
Sure. All right. Perhaps we'll get it on here with our weekend review show in the next couple of days. I'll talk to you off screen about that, Eddie.
Yeah.
If you're available or not. It's missed last week because you were down and out.
Believe me, I know.
But otherwise, of course, we'll be back here for the rest. Otherwise, of course, we will be here in time for our WrestleMania prediction show. Probably the Friday before the WrestleMania night 1 and 2. We'll see. But with that, we'll see what happens from there. Keep track on social media.